Hello and welcome back to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel, where of course we're giving you all the latest news, views and opinions on all things Albion. We are back again today with another video for you, another match preview. Of course, the matches in the EFL Championship roll around thick and fast. So we're here to give you a look ahead to West Bromwich Albion versus Cardiff City at the Hawthorns. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff. And yeah, another really interesting championship tie, and one that I'm sure that Albion will be hoping to get their first league victory under their belt in. So yeah, for this video, we'll be giving you all the opposition analysis, talking about what you can expect from them, giving some predicted lineups for both sides, just giving you my general thoughts on Albion as always, and of course a little bit of striker talk. Of course, there's been links with a lone striker coming in before the end of the window. We'll be chatting about that in this video too, and of course giving you a little score prediction at the end. But before we get started, I'd love to hear your score prediction for West Bromwich Albion versus Cardiff. I'd love to hear your thoughts ahead of the game. If you want to drop a predicted lineup down in the comment section below, that's always welcomed. It's nice to get a bit of discussion going down there. So yeah, make sure you subscribe before we crack on, and let's get straight into this match preview for West Brom versus Cardiff City. You're watching the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel. For match previews, match day vlogs, match reactions and more, make sure to subscribe to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel. So let's get started and start off, of course, with the opposition, Cardiff City, sitting 5th in the EFL Championship, just inside those playoff places at the moment. Yeah, 2 wins and a loss to start off their season, beating Norwich, beating Birmingham as well, but losing to Reading, which I think is a really weird combination. You know, you consider Norwich to be up the top there. I know they're at the bottom at the moment, but I'm sure they'll come good towards the end of the season. But they've, they started off the season pretty badly. But of course, the first game, I think one of the first games of the Championship season as well, they beat Norwich with a goal from Romain Sawyers. We'll talk a little bit more about him and another familiar face in a little bit. But of course, they also lost 3-0 to Portsmouth in the FA Cup. So it's a bit of a weird one for Cardiff, I think. I just can't quite get my head around where they might finish, whether this is a bit of a fluke, whether this is a bit of something we need to be aware of. But, you know, for me, I think they've got a decent side for this level. I think they've got a lot of organisation. I think they've got a good manager in Steve Morrison as well. I think he's clearly shown a lot of promise in his first managerial job. He's a Millwall legend. I think a lot of Millwall fans are a big fan of him. So yeah, I've got a feeling that Cardiff are going to be a decent side this year. I'm not convinced they'll be pushing for playoffs, but I think that they'll do a lot better than maybe scratching around the bottom of the table like you've perhaps sometimes familiarised with them. So yeah, I think that Cardiff are going to do pretty well this season. I think they've got a decent squad. I think they've got a good lineup. And I think they've just got a good, hard-working ethos. And I think they've got a little bit of quality in those attacking areas to boot. Yeah, so Steve Morrison, of course, first managerial job. He's sort of starting a bit of a rebuild at Cardiff. Of course, Mick McCarthy, the manager before him. Of course, last season didn't do so well with them. Lost 4-0 to ourselves away. In one of the first games of the season, I think I remember, and you know he must have played 5 centre backs across the back 5, and I mean, you know, that's a Tony Pulis style grime against football, that is. But I mean, you know, speaking of some key men for Cardiff, Callum O'Dowd has done really well for them so far this season. 1 goal and 2 assists in the first 3 games, so that's 3 goal contributions in as many games. So yeah, he's been pretty decent for them. He was always a good player for Bristol City, and I'm you know, it's good to see that he's carried a bit of that form over to his new move to Cardiff City. You know, I think that they've got a bit of quality in that attacking third, and I think that's all that's going to matter. I think, you know, looking back to games against Cardiff, and you know, I don't think, you know, that 0-0, was it 0-0 or 1-0 draw at the Hawthorns last time. Alex Mowat got sent off, Sam Johnston sent off after the game as well. So yeah, I mean, they're going to be a physical side. That's what they do. But I think they're trying to expand a little bit and play a bit of better football. And I think they've got, as I said, I think they've got some good quality in the attacking third, of course. Let's talk about some familiar faces for Cardiff as well. You know, Cedric Kipre, impressing for Cardiff at the moment on loan from Albion. He won't be available for the game, but just wanted to sort of give a little update on him from what I've heard. Very good ball-playing defender is the words of some Cardiff fans, and starting to expand their play style has been helped by Cedric Kipre. Playing the ball out from the back, and I think that was always one of his main attributes for us. But you know, the actual defending, which of course is what you've got the defender in the side to do, has never been too great. So I think I'd be pleased if I was Kipre with his performances so far. I can't help but feel that we may have let the wrong defender go. I'd rather sort of let go of Bartley or something like that. I'd rather keep Kipre. I think he works for what we're trying to do at the club at the moment. But of course, gone to Cardiff and doing pretty well at this moment in time. Romain Sawyers as well, another familiar face, a promotion winner back in 2019-20, playing in a more advanced role for Cardiff at the moment, playing in the number 10 position, which I think we all know is kind of his preferred position, if you like. So I think that he's done well. He scored on his Cardiff full debut, I think, against Norwich as well. It's a surprise that we let him go. I think he would be a good fit for the system that we got at the moment, maybe alongside Kuzlu, but I do think he's done a decent job, and he's just one of those players that perhaps you might regret letting go, but to be honest, he played in a more deeper position for us, and he was never really likely to keep his place in keeping the contract extension. He didn't do fantastically at Stoke. He had a few injuries, but I do think he's got a lot of quality in that attacking third. It was a good goal from him on the first game of the season against Norwich, a long-range curled effort into the bottom corner as well. So, I always think that he's got a lot of ability, and I think the same for Kipre maybe, but obviously we haven't let go of Kipre completely, but Romain Sawyers, of course, released at the end of last season and now a member of the Cardiff City squad and doing pretty well. Yeah. I think it's a decent lineup for Cardiff, and I look forward to seeing what they bring to the table. And of course, they're going to bring physicality. I think that's one of the things that you can associate with the Steve Morrison side or any Cardiff side. I think Warnock even before them. It's physical. It's aggressive play. So let's talk Cardiff's predicted lineup. Ryan Alsop, I think, is going to go in goal for them. A back four, Marlon Romeo, Perry and G. I think they're going to replace Cedric Kipre at centre-back as well, so I think Jack Simpson will come in for him. Collins at left-back, a midfield two of Andy Rinamoto and Ryan Wintle, and then just in front Romain Sawyers. Philogene Bidache at left midfield, I probably butchered that. I think he's on loan from Aston Villa. O'Dowda right midfield, and then I think Keon Etete probably up front on his own. Of course, Cardiff looking for that striker still, but I think Etete is one of the players that they brought in to kind of bridge that gap. Of course, on loan at Cheltenham Town last season from Tottenham. They've signed him on a permanent deal, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. But let's go over to West Bromwich Albion, 20th in the EFL Championship. I mean, I'd normally, any other day, I'd panic about that to the... I think it's interesting that the panic stations haven't been quite activated yet. But 20th in the EFL Championship is not good enough. But I believe the performances are warranting of a higher position than the one that we are in at the moment. 2 draws and a loss to start the season in the first 3 games. Lost last time out to Blackburn Rovers. Make sure, first of all, little plug, make sure you go and listen to the podcast for that game. Myself and Baggies Bulletin chatted through that game. It's on the YouTube channel. It's on podcast platforms if you want to listen to it. It was a really nice episode and nice to chat about Albion as always. So, Albion, encouraging performances, everything but the goals that we need. I think we scored 3 and 3, but that's still, I think, a little underwhelming that, we've had the chances to probably score about 6 goals this season, double the amount that we've already scored. So I think, I'm a little disappointed that perhaps we haven't done that. So, I just think we need a bit of luck. We need the ball to go in. We need to maybe not stop conceding them ourselves. We haven't cleared out the clean sheet yet, which I think is disappointing. Blackburn saw the difference. What happens when you have a proper striker involved, rather than one that you don't think's going to score the goals. So, I think it's difficult. But I think a striker could be on the way. Of course, Liam Delap. There is strong interest from Albion in Liam Delap, the Manchester City striker. Scored lots of goals at youth level for City. Of course, been on the bench. Scored on his debut for Manchester City, I believe, as well. I think Bruce needs to convince Pep Guardiola, of course, and City that we're the right option to take Liam Delap forward. I think, you look at it and, I think if any striker sees the way that we're creating chances at the moment, I think that any striker would probably want to come to us. So I hope that Liam Delap sort of sees the light. I hope he doesn't go to Stoke, because if I'm honest, I think, I believe that Stoke, I think they've got a few too many strikers going on. They've got Tyrese Campbell, they've got Jacob Brown, they've got Dwight Gale. They really need another one. I'm not convinced he'll get the playing time he asked for, but at the moment, Daryl DK injured. I think that he could come to us and get all the game time he's looking for, really. So, fingers crossed that move can get over the line. He'd be an outstanding player to have. His movement's exceptional, and obviously scoring those goals at youth level. let's see how it goes. Let's move into a predicted 11 for Albion. You'll see it come up on the screen now. David Button in goal, Donna Furlong, Shemi Ajayi, Dara O'Shea and Connor Townsend along the back line. Hopefully we can stop shipping those goals because, if we are scoring one a game, we could at least win 1-0. Centre midfielders, Okay Kujlu, I think it's time to give him his first start in the league. Jason Malumbi alongside him, John Swift just in front, Wallace and a much improved Dean Garner performance last time out means that he should start again on the left wing. Carlan Grant up front. And that's your predicted lineup. A bit of a scoreline as well, maybe from me. I'm going to say 1-0 Albion. I think that maybe Cardiff won't have enough in the attacking third to maybe break us down. And I hope that we have a period of domination like we did last time out. So fingers crossed for a victory. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you subscribe. And thank you very much for watching this match preview. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.